I shot a short form video of this recipe and it was wildly successful. I would like to say it was successful because the texture of this buttercream frosting is just out of this world. It's like clouds of air. It's not heavy, it is light and fluffy. It could be because of the very highly controversial ingredient I use in it, but I'm gonna tell you why, and we'll see if you agree or not. Buttercream frosting, have to have butter. So I use a half a cup of butter in here. I use unsalted butter, that's just always what I have on hand. You could use salted as well. I also use a half a cup of shortening, which if you are watching from not the United States, some people don't know what shortening is. It's just solidified vegetable oil. Now, the reason why I use shortening in this frosting is because I feel like all buttercream frosting tastes a lot like butter to me. I feel like it gets too heavy and it's overwhelming. It overpowers the taste of the cake. I like using half butter and half shortening because shortening has a more neutral flavor to it. Now, I understand people that shortening is not the best thing for you. So you have some options. First of all, you can use all butter. You could just use a cup of butter. That's totally fine. You can also use palm shortening, which is a less processed, it's vegan, it's soy-free, it's not all the nutty things that shortening is that everyone has opinions about. So you can use that instead, or you can use solidified coconut oil as well. So once you have that in your bowl, just mix it up till it's nice and creamy. Since I'm using unsalted butter, I will add 1/4 teaspoon of salt to the recipe and then a teaspoon of vanilla extract. You could flavor this frosting any way you like. You can use a different flavor extract. Almond is really good too, or you can use zest, citrus zest in it, like lemon zest, orange zest, and then do the extract to go with that as well. Then to this, we're adding 4 cups of powdered sugar. And once that gets mixed together, it will be very thick. I'm gonna put this guard on here so I don't get a powdered sugar storm all over my kitchen while it mixes. And then I'm just gonna combine this together on low speed. Like I said, it will be very thick, but then we're gonna add something else to it that gives it that extremely light texture. At this point, it's kind of like cookie dough, but then we add a half a cup of heavy cream. This has to be a heavy cream because it beats long enough that it kind of turns into like a mashup of buttercream and whipped cream frosting. So I'm gonna pour this in and then you just let it beat for 5 to 7 minutes. Now this is why I recommend a stand mixer, because you just put it on, walk away. You can do this with a hand mixer too, then you'll just have to stand there and beat it. So maybe just pop in your favorite podcast while you do that. So put it in. Once it's combined, then turn up the speed and then let it beat for at least 5 minutes, even up to 7. So let me show you this deliciousness. Look at that texture. It is so light. It almost looks like I'm scooping up whipped cream. When you frost cupcakes and cakes with this, you will not be able to stop eating it. It is so good. All right, this is when you get to like lick your fingers like crazy, but you don't have to tell anyone. I'll try to abstain while I'm on camera. Okay, so to frost a 2-layer cake. So this frosting makes enough for a 2-layer cake or 24 cupcakes. Put your first layer on the cake stand or cake platter, and then I just use wax paper, just ripped off in strips, and I just tuck it around the bottom of the cake, just around the edges so you can pull it off easily. And this just protects your cake platter from getting frosting on it, so when you pull it away, it's nice and clean. When I'm frosting, I'm gonna turn this, so just so it's not bumping into things, I'll go around the edges and just cut some of it off. Take some of that glorious frosting and plop it on the middle here. And then this is an offset spatula. I use it for so many things. It's really good for cake batters, evening it out, brownies, but it also is perfect for frosting. So just spread that around. You don't have to go all the way to the edges because when you plop the other layer on, it'll kind of spread out the frosting. Okay, and then take your other cooled cake layer and put it on top, and then just put another layer on top. Now for this top layer, I don't go crazy because whatever frosting I have left over, I'll go ahead and put on the top. So you just want enough to kind of create a thin layer on top. So now for the sides, I'm just gonna take some of my offset spatula, and I am not going to be pretty about it. My first thing I wanna do is just kind of go all around. And then once it's all around, then I'm gonna go back and build up the sides some more. Some people, they do this, they'll do a thin layer all over the cake. They call it their crumb layer, and then they'll pop it in the fridge because that layer will solidify and get hard, and then they'll go back and do the rest of their frosting. I don't really see a huge need for it with this frosting. It works really well and it'll cover up everything. So I'm just going to go back around, fill in any gaps on the sides, and this is why I have that wax paper on the bottom, because you will not get frosting on your cake platter now. And you can see how an offset spatula makes this job so much easier. So you can see all my sides are nice and covered. It's not super profesh looking yet, but then what I'm gonna do, offset spatula, is I'm gonna take this and I just kind of turn the cake platter while I go around, and it just evens everything out. And then if you have any frosting left over, what I'll do is I'll just take that and I'll finish off the top with it. Here's where I'm not gonna lick my fingers, but I really want to right now. And then you could just smooth that on top. And if you'd like, you could take a spoon and kind of makes little like peaks or waves just to kind of give the frosting a little bit more texture. And you can even do that on the sides too, if you'd like. Gives it more of like those homemade cake vibes. If you want to put sprinkles on your cake, here's a fun little trick. I would put your cake platter in a rimmed baking sheet just to catch the runaway sprinkles, and then you can decorate it, and when they fall, they will not go all over your kitchen floor. And this is the most fun part, where you're gonna peel away the wax paper. And this is why you don't want your wax paper too deep under the cake, so you can pull it out really easily. To store the frosting, you have a couple options. You can store it in the refrigerator, or you can freeze it too. You just need to let it come to room temp before you're frosting anything. Now, I get asked a lot, once your cake is frosted, should your cake be stored in the fridge? So personally, I leave this at room temperature for a long time, probably longer than I should. But here, I'm still here to tell you the tale of it. I have not died from it. Frosting has a lot of sugar in it, which works as a preservative. So yes, butter should be refrigerated, but I feel like you're fine up to a couple days. And especially if you do store your cake in the refrigerator, I always recommend leaving out at room temperature. I leave it out about 3 to 4 hours to come fully to room temperature, so the cake crumb softens, and also so you're not just eating solidified butter, so your frosting goes back to the texture that it is supposed to be. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, then I would really appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. It helps me, and then it helps you, because then you see all my new videos. I will see you in the next video.